Welcome back, everybody, to Mega Man X3. We are going to Toxic Seahorse next. I thought maybe it was a catfish. There's two weapons that are very similar in this game. We'll talk about that later. So now it is time to take on Toxic Seahorse.
Toxic Seahorse. This is what happens when we throw all of our pollution into the ocean.
Exactly. We got a seahorse that's toxic.
Fantastic.
So now you'll notice the music gets really ramped up into the hard rock with this. You notice with Blizzard Buffalo, it wasn't really. It felt like a normal Mega Man soundtrack. It wasn't rock.
It felt like a mellow rock, like just something that I could sit in a nice
Yeah. Now listen to this. This guy hits hard.
Man,
What else is new?
Man, where's the heavy guitars and drums from Rammstein? Because we could just lay that over this and have some fun with it.
One thing that people do have a problem with this soundtrack, and I think this is a fair criticism. I don't think it makes it bad, but a lot of the stage themes they're very samey. They tend to have a similar. They tend to run. It's hard to it's hard to say they're unique from each other. Where in the original games, if you play enough, you're gonna know the themes by heart, and you're gonna kind of understand what level's what. This game doesn't really have that as well.
You mentioned about guitars, and so if they're using electric guitars, if they're using like the same amount of chord or the same chord set, but just mixing it up, almost every stage is going to sound similar. That's the problem with rock in the 80s, is that they use the same chords, but just mixed up the pattern in terms of how they played them. So the reason why most 80s rock songs sound so similar to each other.
Actually a great point. But yeah, no, I do understand that criticism.
Oh. They're like, yeah, we put a secret up here for you, but you're gonna have to work to get it.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Probably one of the easier ones to get in the entire game. But yeah, so this game has 8 heart tanks, just like the other games, and everything else. But I mentioned poorly implemented ideas. We talked about Zero already. There is a shit ton of backtracking in this game if you go by weak disorder.
So you mentioned Zero's frame. You mind opening up the menu, just showing when he's available, what that looks like? Just
there you go.
So you could go and select him, like selecting one of the busters or one of the other shots.
Here, I'll do it right now. I'm on my way. So we'll play with him the rest of as long as I can. Okay, you can't do anything with that. Unless I find the upgrade spot, then I'm gonna have to switch, because of course. But again, if I die with him, and I don't want to die with him. I really don't want to die with him. If I die with him, you're probably gonna see me restart.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Just like every other Mega Man game, for some reason, the Mega Man X and Zero jump higher in water.
And you talked about just dying with him.
I should have showed the end. I should have showed the screen. But yeah, no. Since he died, I cannot use. I would not be able to use him again for the rest of the game.
Wow.
I forgot he doesn't have the air dash, or I mishit the button, which that's also possible too. But
yeah, you guys should have seen the look of disappointment on his face.
I was not happy.
Oh my word.
Because the spikes that are above are insta kill.
Yeah.
As all spikes are for Mega Man X and the like.
Then the pit below is
Insta kill.
Instant kill.
So yeah, so that's Zero, and he's annoying. He's not annoying. It's just the way he's implements, just awful.
Oh my word. So there's a whole cutscene to that if you lose Zero.
Yeah, you'll go back to the main base and you'll be like, X, I can't go on any longer. I've taken too much damage. He doesn't die like he does in every other game, seemingly. He just gets too injured to move on. By the way, I took 2 hits.
Oh jeez.
Get the body armor when you can, because that has your damage, and then it basically becomes like a normal Mega Man X game again.
That's.
Again, I understand what they were going for, especially when you understand what the pink chips do. Because eventually, you know, if you get the pink body chip, you basically have yourself to like 75% damage. 70% of the 75% of the damage. So you only take 25% damage compared to what you normally would.
Was it like a Mega Man in between games? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna, go with like this paper mache thing that looks really good. Just because why not?
But as I mentioned before, you really, really don't want to grab any of the pink chips because, and we were talking about that, and I don't think I finished the thought. And if I did, I'm going over it again. So there is 4 of them in the game. You can't get all 4.
Can't get all 4?
No. Once you pick one, that is the one you get, and you cannot change it. You cannot exchange it for any of the other ones. You only get one. So you have to make a decision on which one you want. Or at least that's the theory, right? But here's the problem with that. There's something way later in the game that makes those irrelevant. But if you grab a chip, you can't get it. We'll talk about that later.
That is such a dick move. That's such a dick move.
Yeah, everyone thinks Dr. Light's an asshole, and I see why.
But I also see, like...
Again, you see the ideas and concept they were trying to do.
You think that you would want to, like, reward the players, like, hey, get all 4 chips and unlock this special thing. Not like, hey, avoid all the chips, go hard mode, then get something that's, hey, this is your easy mode.
By the way, to get the pink chip here, I think it is, you actually have to have a ride armor. Because there's actually fans over there, and you can destroy them, and then you can get a, and then you can get the pink chip, I believe. As I mentioned before, that's what I want to do with 0, by the way. As I mentioned before, this game is probably the least played one. This is one that I don't go back. By the way, look at that respawn.
You were just off the frame for, like...
Literally a frame.
You were just off for a full frame, and it just... Nope, I'm back.
I want to show something off with 0. This is why another reason why I was kind of wanting to go to him right away. Alright, I'm going to be 0. I'm going to take on this mini-boss with 0, right? Hell yeah, let's do it. Ah, shit. That is automatic. It forces this. I'll handle this. 0 is stronger than you, X.
God.
So yeah.
So they...
This boss can be an asshole.
That's such a tease.
By the way, the weird part about this boss, his tentacles right there, they don't hurt you. There's not a hitbox in them.
Okay, I can kind of see why, considering with how much projectiles he's spawning.
Yeah.
Because if I kid you not, if I was a kid playing this and I saw that, I would have probably broken the remote.
Yeah.
With the tentacles hitting me and all that. It's like, how am I supposed to hit you?
That's one of the rare times this game gives you a bit of leeway, a little bit of mercy.
One of the few times?
Yeah. It's not often in this game does it give you much mercy.
Now it's taking you out behind the woodshed. Gloves are off.
This game's hard, man. It is not easy. I mean, you see the amount... Oh, that guy right there? My recommendation is do not charge your shot around him.
Don't?
No, it's not. It's not him. It's not him. It's a different guy.
Oh.
Sorry. Some enemy placement in this game is kind of ass too. This game has a lot of works, and again, a lot of the criticisms are very valid. I mentioned before that this game also has some aspects of X1 stage change if you beat certain bosses. They're not too crazy, but that guy right there will change to like a green, weaker version.
That was way too close. I don't know how you survived that. I do not know how you survived that, Chris. You were like half a frame from eating ass.
Dude, yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Wow. That is my level of recklessness from Broforce.
I didn't know. I forgot the spikes were there. Alright. You ready to see the biggest criticism of this game?
Oh boy.
Man, isn't this fun? Man, this is so fun.
If my watch is correct, you just did that within 20 seconds. For those watching, please note how long that took.
And that's not because I'm good at the game.
That is ridiculous.
That's just because this game, that's how it's programmed. And pretty much every Maverick from here on out, gonna get the same thing. Of at least the main 8. Actually, probably of all of them, but maybe the Sigma battle.
Jeez.
And we'll talk about the hell that is the Sigma battle later.
Oh boy.
Here's another crap weapon, the Acid Burst.
Kind of like the
It's okay.
kind of like the Bioshot bioweapon in Unreal Tournament.
Sure.
That's a crap weapon.
Sure. That, and then there's the... I look at it more kind of like Holy Water from one of the Castlevania games, where it kind of spreads out. But
Yeah.
so this is Dr. Doppler. He's basically the big bad in this game, but he's not. But they act like he is. I had no idea he was so powerful. He apparently turned on the weather. So now, you remember in X2 we had the X-Hunters?
Yeah.
And we had to go find them to battle them? This game introduces their own type of X-Hunter, Bit and Bite. But here's the thing about them. They are not optional.
Little on the nose in terms of programming, right?
Yeah.
Because
They're actually not easy. They're not easy. Hey, remember this guy
yeah.
from X1? He's back too. He is optional. And I'd recommend you take him out. But we'll talk about that in a bit too. Because I need to get the weaponry to do that.
Jeez.
So all 3 of these guys are weak to 2 weapons.
Just 2
Two each. And you can actually kill them. But if you with their weapon, they'll blow up and then they'll be dead. But if you beat them with any other weapon or your Mega Buster, they're not actually dead, and that actually affects. And this is actually something I think is pretty cool. It actually affects how the Sigma stages later play, and the bosses that you get in in those stages.
Oh my word.
So it is different. It is unique, but that is actually something I think they implemented well. I think that's a really, really cool thing.
That is definitely, that changes it up. Like if you're bringing back a character from a prior, but also introducing 2 new ones,
Yeah.
being able to beat them ahead of time and changing how your end game goes. That's pretty good.
But yeah, and as you see, these stages kind of long because we had to restart, but so these stages are bigger. The bosses are a joke. But
20 seconds.
But we're gonna call that a part here, and we'll head on into Tunnel Rhino, who is weak to Acid Burst, in the next part.
Time to take the toxic sludge right into nature.
Exactly. Until then, everybody.
See ya.